We're part of the conservation repatriation team, working with GANDANGARA Land Council on their repatriation, female body from the Liverpool area.
Well, we're never really out of the job. I mean, as Aboriginal people, we never stop looking after our cultural heritage, whether we're in the department or not. In our job that we do with repat and conservation, it's very important, our involvement with the land councils and the Aboriginal community in those regions, bringing home those ancestral remains. Also having that collaboration with the museums as well. But it's also a big sense of empowerment for the community, for them to take courage of returning the ancestral remains back to their country.
It really is, you know, we're getting remains back from sitting on shelves in museums and such and laying them to rest and giving them peace. But this is a nice big piece, so I think this is going to be suitable for what Matt was looking for in the size-wise. It's nice and soft, and it's already half coming off, so I think the tree wouldn't be too angry about us removing some of this.
No.
And just helping GANDANGARA do their repatriation and getting some paper bark today for the wrapping of the remains.
One there would nearly...
That'll nearly do it for sure.
Well, for this repatriation, it's been a really good process. As far as we know, this is GANDANGARA's first repat, so they're learning as they're going along, and the working partnership's been really good with GANDANGARA, and everything's run smooth and respectfully, so everyone's really enjoying this process, you know, from the beginning, just the meetings and talks. Thursday will work for you, Matt?
Matt, Thursday?
Yeah. There's so many steps involved to actually, but I think, it's pretty good.
From REH's point of view, it's good because as long as the community's happy, we're happy, so they're happy, so we're happy.
I think it's great because we've got a collaboration of all different departments here that's going to be participating in this female remains returning back to country. And now that we've done the stepping stones to succeed, it'll be happening on the 9th of the 12th. That collaboration with all different parties has been a great thing for everyone because again, it's new to some people, but it's also what Matt did with the museum. They gave them step-by-step process and gave the aunties and that a more of a clearer understanding.
I think there's a lot of avenues that can be used to actually educate the young ones in the schools about the repatriation and how
And I think
what its processes are, you know.
I think educate the elders too, because we don't know anything about it.
No, that's right. Yeah.
And, you know, that we've got to be educated so it can be passed on.
So yeah, I should probably let you know, because we're going over to the Shellshire Museum. So that's a museum of osteology. It's where they teach all the doctors how to work with bones and things like that. So there is human remains on display in there. So if you're a bit windy or a bit of an issue about that, it's fine. We can arrange for you to meet downstairs. But there's also one set of Aboriginal remains on display, which is the Narrabeen Man ones. But Denise, who's the forensic anthropologist there, she's worked with these remains for about 25-30 years, so she's the best person to talk to about just any questions or issues that you have.
There's actually only one set of Indigenous remains out, and that's from Metropolitan Land Council, and they're happy for them to be on display, and I'll explain that to you if you like. But you won't see them as soon as you go in anyway. But what you'll see are you'll see some mostly casts, you know, just plaster casts of skeletons, but there will be some real ones.
You've got to ensure that, you know, when the day comes, everything's going to be running smoothly. So the background work, it does take a little bit of time.
There's a lot more to it than what I ever thought.
It's something that really brings the community together, and all the different ones that I've worked at, the actual days of the handover or the actual return to the ground is always a really special day. You talk to the community afterwards, and it's just this weight lifted off their shoulders, I think, that, you know, while they were working there, they were able to work with this return to their country and to bring the old peoples to rest, which it's all about. So it's definitely the best part of my job, and being able to get out and work on country like this is pretty fantastic.
Where's your flash gear?
Hello, we're in a moment. Cut us out. Yes. So Dean's just entered into the scene now and taken the focus away from us.
So when we go into the area where these old people will get put to rest, we've got to go in and pay respect to that area, but also ask for that country to accept those old people and settle things down before we start disturbing things. And then on the way out, we've got to close the door. So knock on the door, go in, do our business, and then come out and close that door. Okay, just with the clapsticks, because the old people, and even that bird that's flying around, they all know that noise. It's part of that sharing, but cultural awareness. Barry's learning a lot about why this is important to us. Why we want to put them back in the ground. All these conversations come out of the process of returning these old people to country. Today I'm here as the Aboriginal Community Liaison Officer for National Parks for Metro Southwest, and it's a privilege and an honour to be here working with these men and women on such an important process for our people. It's important that we do things properly. That's one of the things that you'll learn as you go through your journey as a young man, that the old people, they don't worry too much about time, they worry about doing things properly.
Get over here and have it all set up, do the ceremony and then go back, and then they can relax. But at the moment, while over here, we need to focus on this area here.
My name's Vanessa Kavanagh, and I'm the project manager of the Aboriginal Riverkeeper team, and it involves a small group of Aboriginal trainees coming and learning how to do bush regeneration within the Georges River catchment. For many trainees, or for many young Aboriginal people, it's not something that they'd have the opportunity to do. And so it's learning from knowledge holders such as Dean Kelly and myself, and people like Auntie Pam, people who've been doing this kind of work for many years, teaching these young trainees what are some of the cultural protocols and what are some of the reasons behind the important jobs that we do maintaining Aboriginal culture and heritage.
So all you need is one of these leaves, okay, and you just get that leaf and just have a smell of it, because what we're doing is getting rid of any negative stuff that might be sitting here. So it's a medicine plant, but it's going into your lungs. This one, you'll smell it, but it's going into your lungs. So it's starting to clear spirit. And then you get that last little one, see the bubba, child. That represents a child, this one. And so that's innocence. You're clearing all that negative stuff out of your mind and just opening it up, that third eye, that spirit. And just smell that, and that'll fix that spot right there. So just put it at the base of a tree or the base of a plant, and it's going back. It's starting that giving back already. This one's going to get the different mark.
Okay.
It's going to get the Coolaman, but it's also going to get the 3 lines.
Okay.
Okay, respect, patience, observation, woman, man, child, past, present, future, and then also that support, balance and connection. And the boundary on the outside is the responsibility to hold it all together. Brad, when you place the package on that east-west, because you don't have the skull, okay, which you'd usually would point to the east, but put that package a long ways on that line, yeah. So it'll have that, and that old fella coming up in the morning.
Yeah, this is just great to actually see the process. There's so much hard work goes behind the scenes. Normally we just hand over the box, but yeah, to actually see all the steps in the process, you know, all the ceremony that the community bring to it, it really opens your eyes a bit. Actually, it's really great. It just shows you how much work's involved in actually doing this and why each one takes so much time to get organised. You know, it's not just a quick process, you really have to think it through. There's so many logistics of where things need to be returned to, you know, most of the time you can't put them back where they were found, so you always have to have these partnerships with national parks and river keepers and different organisations like that. It takes a real team of people to actually bring it all together. You know, it's a shock for most communities. You know, not everyone knows the history of collecting Aboriginal remains, and you know, even for people who are familiar with it, the actual scale of it, when you see it up close, is just massive. The community have a lot of questions. A lot of the time they want them back where they were found, and that's not possible. So you really need to bring in a lot of, you know, agencies and state government representatives and things to actually rebury these on country. I mean, it's not like we just pick a plot at the cemetery and rebury them there. They were taken from country, so they need to be put back in country, because, you know, the land is an ancestor, and these people are going back to meet their ancestors as well.
It just comes off, and the reason we've done it is two reasons: to mark the site as a marker tree, but also for the call and Brad, for the ceremony when we come in.
So when we go on the last leg of the boat, we'll take the remains across. Is that okay with you? Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, she's okay.
Today the reason that we're here is to honour our sister, auntie or a mum who, you know, we are basically laying to rest again. I think I've spoken to the men a number of times, and we believe that this repatriation is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This may never ever happen again.
Some headbands, so when we come to these sort of things, we can wear the headbands.
Yeah, we could just plait them up there one day, even this Tuesday when we go over there if we've got nothing to do. We had some wool, take some wool over and just plait some up.
Just before we leave here, I'd just like to thank OEH for everything they've done.
It's been a pleasure for me to take part in this. Yes.
It's good for me too. Right?
Yeah, I think it went really beautiful.
And I was very pleased to meet you.
Finding our roots. I think you know what? It's funny because you talk about ancestral remains, and yet now we're of the present, and we're still finding that connection. You know, it's just amazing with our Mob Bay. It's so.
For me, an incredible experience. But that's a positive. That's what you call progress.
It's a good calling.
It was a good call. It was really.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, eh?
Yeah, it was.
I don't get emotional.